So hello, everybody. Welcome to the third clearing session on money. And today in particular, we are doing penny wise, pound foolish. And reason being because in my, journey as a coach, I've experienced it time after time after time. People tell me, oh, I don't have money. But then they go ahead and spend like a lot of money on some course, on some program. And I noticed it also with myself. One of the reasons I also stopped drinking coffee before I went to Italy is because it kills me paying €3.60 for a tiny little cup of coffee. It's one thing drinking coffee at home, it's cheap, but paying €3.60, I don't think it's worth it, like tiny little cup. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna save money, but then I spend a lot on the hotels. So probably you've experienced the same in your life, that you're really pinching pennies and you're saving and you're trying, but then something comes along, it's like 5K, 10K, and you just like all dams break loose and you just spend that money. And then you're like, why did I do that? And then you go back to pinching pennies. And then again, you give your money, hard-earned money, for something that is just totally overpriced. So that's what I wanted to work with you today. And let's get started. I'm going to share, as always, I'm going to share slides. If there's anything that's coming up for you in particular, feel free to put in the chat, and I'll also try to cover that during the session. You can make yourself comfortable, close your eyes, put your awareness at the center of your heart. There's nothing you need to do. There is nowhere you need to go. Just allow yourself to be fully present in the here and the now. And we're going to get started. So some of you with karma views to help us connect to you, the soul, creator, all that is, you, the future self. Put your awareness at the center of Mother Earth. Allow your awareness to rise through the crust of the earth, through your body, through your crown, 2 meters above your head, higher and higher. And some of you with karma views to go all the way to the 7th plane of consciousness. Create a all that is consciousness. And some of our with karma views to help us understand what's the most important thing for us to work on today, to clear today around money and how our spending habits. And some of you with karma views to scan the entire universe for all the beings that want to rob you of your money, want to steal your money. And some of you with karma views to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to fire anybody and everybody from stealing from you. So one thing that I have noticed when I join programs, like the sales calls, like especially that coaches have, where they have this whole pitch, and for several hours they're really grinding on you, they really guide you, and you feel like, oh my God, it's 10,000. I gotta find a way to pay for it. And before you know it, you're spending that money, but it's actually mental domination. So some of you with karma abuse to scan the entire universe for some of you with karma abuse to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to fire anybody and everybody from stealing from you. And some of you with karma abuse to scan the entire universe for all the beings that are mentally dominating you. And some of you with karma abuse to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to fire anybody and everybody from mentally dominating you. May some of you with karma abuse to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to neutralize all decisions and choices you've ever made, to allow anybody to mentally dominate you. And some of you with karma abuse to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to fire yourself from being mentally dominated by anybody. And some of you with karma abuse to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to put a detach, resolve, dissolve, cancel, complete program for the next 24 hours or as long as it's needed to keep on neutralizing all decisions and choices you've ever made to be mentally dominated by anyone. And some of you with karma abuse to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to neutralize all the decisions and choices you've ever made to believe that your money is limited. And that you must count your pennies. And some of your good karma be used to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to neutralize all decisions and choices you've ever made to be cheap. And some of your good karma be used to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to neutralize all the decisions and choices you've ever made to believe that if something is expensive, it must be good. May some of your good karma be used to scan the entire universe for all the beings that have glamorized you in any way. That feels heavy. And some of your good karma be used to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to fire anybody and everybody from glamorizing you in any way. And some of your good karma be used to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to neutralize all the choices and decisions you've ever made to allow yourself to be glamorized. Glamour is something that conceals the true nature of something. So may some of your good karma be used to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to put a detached, resolve, dissolve, cancel, complete program for the next 24 hours or as long as it's needed, to keep on neutralizing all decisions and choices you've ever made to allow anybody to glamorize you in any way. Some of your good karma be used to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to connect to the Archangel Michael energy and request that the energy run through your mental body, emotional body, physical body, all your bodies, and may be used to neutralize all the glamours. And some of your good karma be used to scan the entire universe for all the beings that have mesmerized you, hypnotized you in any way. Some of your good karma be used to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to neutralize all decisions and choices you've ever made to allow anybody to hypnotize you, mesmerize you. And some of your good karma be used to fire anybody from mesmerizing you, hypnotizing you in any way. And some of your good karma be used to put a detached, resolve, dissolve, cancel, complete program for the next 7 days or as long as it's needed to keep on neutralizing all these hypnotizing energies, mesmerizing energies. Everywhere you're blinded. And some of your good karma be used to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to request to be taught to see the true value of things. I think I mentioned this before. Once you become energetically very sensitive, when people say the truth, there is certain energy behind that. And when people lie, there is a different energy behind that. And so you eventually stop perceiving that. In the spiritual circles, what they say is that at a certain level of spiritual development, the Ajna chakra and the forehead chakra start merging and they become one. And when that becomes one, you basically are able to penetrate into the truth of a matter. You can clearly see the truth, you recognize the truth. And so that is why it's much harder to fool you, because when somebody tries to sell to you something really, really expensive, you will be able to see the truth, whether this is actually worth that money or not. You will notice when somebody's just throwing dust into your eyes and mentally is dominating you, manipulating you. May some of your good karma be used to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to neutralize all decisions and choices you've ever made, to believe that cheap stuff is just good enough for you. May some of your good karma be used to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to neutralize all decisions and choices you've ever made, to be reckless with your money, to be negligent with your money. to allow your money to slip through your fingers, for someone to cheat you out of your money. If some of you with karma abuse, to put a detached result, dissolve, cancel, complete program for the next 24 hours, or as long as it's needed. And keep on neutralizing all the decisions and choices. With some of you with karma abuse, to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to request to be taught the true value of money, the true essence of money. And with some of you with karma abuse, to neutralize all the choices and decisions you've ever made, to allow to be confused about money and its value. With some of you with karma abuse, to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to neutralize all of that. Some of you with karma abuse, to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to neutralize all the choices and decisions you've ever made, to believe that you can't hold money, you can't maintain money, sustain money, grow money. And some of you with karma abuse, to put a detached result, dissolve, cancel, complete program for the next 24 hours or as long as it's needed, to keep on neutralizing all of this. Some of you with karma abuse, to put a detached result, dissolve, cancel, complete program for the next 24 hours or as long as it's needed, to keep on neutralizing all the decisions and choices that are behind the confusion, your confusion about money. Some of you with karma abuse, to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to also put a detached result, dissolve, cancel, complete program for the next 24 hours or as long as it's needed, to keep on neutralizing all the blind spots around money. Everywhere you're blinded about money, everywhere you cannot see clearly money. Some of you with karma abuse, to put a detached result, dissolve, cancel, complete program for the next 24 hours or as long as it's needed. Again, imagine you are at the center of the sun and you're sitting on a bench and your money is sitting next to you. How does your money look to you? Some of you with karma abuse, to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to neutralize all the choices and decisions you've ever made, to only have a little money. Everywhere you cannot conceptualize a lot of money because you've never had a lot of money. Some of you with karma abuse, to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to neutralize all the decisions and choices you've ever made, to not be able to really truly conceptualize big amounts. Sometimes people have a hard time giving away $10, but it's easy for them to give away 10,000. Some of your karma abuse should help us connect to the seventh plane of consciousness, creative, all that is. What's the next thing that we need to clear, understand? The sum of our good karma abuse to scan the entire universe for all the beings that we owe money to. The sum of our good karma abuse to neutralize all decisions and choices we have ever made, to be paying off our debts for an eternity. Some of our good karma abuse to communicate to the universe that our final decision is to neutralize all decisions and choices we have ever made, to pay off debts for eternity. Some of our good karma abuse to communicate to the universe that our final decision is to neutralize all these decisions and choices. And may this be repeated for the next 24 hours or as long as it's needed. So for some of our good karma abuse to scan the entire universe for all the beings that have told us we will never be able to pay off our debts to them, whatever the debt is, financial or spiritual, whatever we owe them. Some of our good karma abuse to communicate to the universe that our final decision is to fire anybody and everybody from telling us that there is something we can never repay. Some of our good karma abuse to neutralize all the choices and decisions we ever made, to believe that there is something we owe that can never be repaid. Some of our good karma abuse to stamp it all as complete. Some of our good karma abuse to put a detached result of cancel complete program for the next 24 hours or as long as it's needed, and keep on neutralizing all the debts. May some of our good karma abuse to communicate to the universe that our final decision is to fire anybody and everybody from having any claims toward us that are eternal. Some of our good karma abuse to put a detached result dissolve cancel complete program for the next 24 hours or as long as it's needed. Again, you're sitting on a bench next to your money. How does your money look like? Some of our good karma abuse to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to neutralize all decisions and choices we've ever made, to save whatever little money we have, to only have little money, to keep little money. So we keep little money, but we give away big money. So some of our good karma abuse to communicate to the universe that our final decision is to neutralize all decisions and choices we have ever made, to save little money, keep the little money. So we have all those programs around. If we have only little money, then we must keep it, save it. Keep on neutralizing all of that. In some of our good karma abuse to scan the entire universe for all the beings that feel that they have any right to decide what's going to happen to our money. In some of our good karma abuse to communicate to the universe that our final decision is to fire anybody and everybody from having any right, any claim to our money, any right to tell us what to do with our money. In some of our good karma abuse to put a detached result dissolve cancel complete program for the next 24 hours, or as long as it's needed, to keep on neutralizing. The sum of our good karma abuse to scan the entire universe for all the beings whose permission we require before we can do something with our money. The sum of our good karma abuse to communicate to the universe that our final decision is to fire anybody and everybody from having any right over our money, whose permission we need to get before we can do something with our money. The sum of our good karma abuse to communicate to the universe that our final decision is to be completely in charge of our money and not require anybody's permission. The sum of our good karma abuse to neutralize all decisions and choices we have ever made to believe that we require anybody's permission when it comes to our money. The sum of our good karma abuse to put a detached resolve, dissolve, cancel, complete problem for the next 24 hours or as long as it's needed. I have this shoulder blade pain on the right side as I'm saying these things. So my sum of our good karma abuse to put a detached resolve, dissolve, cancel, complete problem for the next 24 hours to neutralize all decisions and choices that are behind this pain, behind this discomfort. The sum of our good karma abuse to communicate to the universe that our final decision is to neutralize all the choices and decisions we've ever made to pinch pennies. The sum of our good karma abuse to scan the entire universe for all our ancestors. The sum of our good karma abuse to communicate to the universe that our final decision is to neutralize all decisions and choices we have ever made to mimic and replicate our ancestors' choices when it comes to money and their decisions. The sum of our good karma abuse to communicate to the universe that our final decision is to neutralize all decisions and choices we have ever made to get by with very little, to survive with very little money. All that pinching pennies energy. The sum of our good karma abuse to put a detached resolve, dissolve, cancel, complete problem for the next 24 hours or as long as it's needed to keep on neutralizing all of that pinching penny energy. The sum of your good karma abuse to put a detached resolve, dissolve, cancel, complete problem for the next 24 hours so as long as it's needed to keep on neutralizing all decisions and choices that are behind this heavy energy over our heads, whatever's contributing to that. And some of our good karma abuse to help us connect to as the future selves, create of all that is, seventh plane of consciousness, as the souls. What's the next important thing that needs to be cleared? And some of our good karma abuse to communicate to the universe that our final decision is to neutralize all the choices and decisions we've ever made, to not be very smart when it comes to our money, to be fools when it comes to our money, to be stupid, make stupid decisions when it comes to our money. Some of our good karma abuse to put a detached resolve, dissolve, cancel, complete problem for the next 24 hours, or as long as it's needed. Some of our good karma is to communicate to the universe that our final decision is to neutralize all decisions and choices we have ever made, to believe that we don't have money, to believe that we cannot have more money than this. In some of our good karma is to communicate to the universe that our final decision is to neutralize all decisions and choices we've ever made, to mimic and replicate the spending habits of our parents. Some of your good karma is to put a detached resolve cancel complete program for the next 24 hours as long as it's needed. You might have had parents that are, make decisions where they're penny wise and pound foolish. Some of you with karma is to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to neutralize all decisions and choices you've ever made, to be addicted to discounts, cheap offers, and some of you with karma is to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to neutralize all decisions and choices you've ever made, to allow the media, businesses to manipulate you and fool you when it comes to money. And some of you with karma is to communicate to the universe your final decision is to fire anybody and everybody from fooling you financially. Some of you will come abuse to scan the entire universe for all the beings you have hired or allowed to fool you financially. Some of you will come abuse to fire anybody and everybody from fooling you in any way, financially or otherwise. Some of you will come abuse to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to fire yourself from being anybody's fool. Some of you with karma abuse to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to neutralize all decisions and choices you've ever made, to believe that being foolish serves you, that being foolish is for your greatest and highest good, that being foolish around money, with your money, is for your greatest and highest good. Connecting to the seventh plane of consciousness, what's the next most important thing for us to clear, work on? Some of you with karma abuse to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to neutralize all the choices and decisions you've ever made, for money to give you headaches, that you gotta be smart to understand money. Some of you with karma abuse to put a detached resolve cancel complete program for the next 24 hours, as long as it's needed to keep on neutralizing all of that. Some of you with karma abuse to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to neutralize all the soul contracts you've ever made with anybody. Some of you with karma abuse to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to neutralize all decisions and choices you've ever made. To not be moderate when it comes to your money. Some of you with karma abuse to put a detached result, dissolve, cancel, complete program for the next 24 hours or as long as it's needed. To keep on neutralizing all decisions and choices you've ever made. To not be moderate when it comes to your money. To be excessive when it comes to your money. All of that excessive energy, excessive saving, excessive spending, yo-yo effect, may some of you will become abused to put a detached result or cancel complete program for the next 24 hours, as long as it's needed to keep on neutralizing that. All those decisions and choices. And some of you with karma abuse to scan the entire universe for all the ancestors, and with some of you with karma abuse to communicate to the universe that you found decision is to completely fully disconnect from your family's traumas around money. And some of you with karma abuse to put a detached result, dissolve, cancel, complete program. Your ancestors, our ancestors might have struggled a lot with money. So guarding and protecting the little money that they had was important. And some of you with karma abuse should put a detached result, dissolve, cancel, complete program for the next 24 hours to neutralize all decisions and choices you've ever made to mimic and replicate those choices. Some of you with karma abuse should neutralize all decisions and choices you've ever made to allow somebody else's choices into your world, choices and decisions. Some of you with karma abuse just scanned the entire universe for all the beings that told you you were a fool. Some of you with karma abuse to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to fire anybody and everybody from telling you you're a fool. Some of you with karma abuse to communicate to the entire universe that your final decision is to no longer be available to being treated like you're a fool, being called a fool. Some of you with karma abuse to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to neutralize all the labels and boxes you've allowed into your world around being labeled a fool, called a fool. Some of you with karma abuse to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to neutralize all decisions and choices you've ever made. To be a fool, to be foolish in order to survive. Some of you with karma abuse to neutralize all the survival strategy. Some of you with karma abuse to put detached result, dissolve, cancel, complete program for the next 24 hours for as long as it's needed to keep on neutralizing all those decisions and choices. Connecting to the source again, what's the next important thing? And some of you with karma abuse to scan the entire universe for all the beings that have cursed you and your money in any way. Some of you with karma abuse to fire anybody and everybody from cursing you. And some of you with karma abuse to apologize to all the beings from the bottom of your heart. And some of the good karma abuse to neutralize, to accept your apology and to neutralize all decisions and choices they've ever made to curse you or your money. Some of you with karma abuse to scan the entire universe for all the beings that want you to fail when it comes to your money. And some of you with karma abuse to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to fire anybody and everybody for wanting you to fail when it comes to your money. And some of you with karma abuse to communicate to the universe that our final decision is to neutralize all decisions and choices we've ever made to fail when it comes to money. Be a financial failure. Be irresponsible with our money. Some of our good karma abuse to put a detach, resolve, dissolve, cancel, complete program for the next 24 hours as long as it's needed to keep on neutralizing all decisions and choices we've ever made to be a failure around money. To be a failure when it comes to our money. To be irresponsible when it comes to our money. Some of our good karma abuse to communicate to the universe that our final decision is to put a detach, resolve, dissolve, cancel, complete program for the next 24 hours as long as it's needed to keep on disconnecting from any energies of irresponsibility with money. That feels heavy. And some of our good karma abuse to put a detach, resolve, dissolve, cancel, complete program for the next 24 hours as long as it's needed to neutralize all decisions and choices behind this heaviness on the right and left shoulder. Shoulder blade muscle. Some of our good karma abuse to neutralize all decisions and choices we've ever made to overspend, to spend more than what we have. Some of our good karma abuse to communicate to the universe that our final decision is to neutralize all decisions and choices we've ever made, to live in debt, to be indebted, to always owe someone money. And some of our good karma abuse to communicate to the universe that our final decision is to neutralize all those decisions and choices and may detach, resolve, dissolve, cancel, complete program be put for the next 24 hours. On my 500 list of items, for a long time, I had it written, I never want to be in minus on my bank account again. And they kept just coming, some big ticket item, one after another, and I just pay off one and then again. And I always was in minus for the last couple of years. I'm like, what's going on? And a few months ago, I had this epiphany. I'm like, oh, it's because I have on my list, I never want to be in minus again. So I rewrote it because you always want to write everything in positive and current tense. And so I rewrote it and I put, I always want to be in plus, in positive on my bank account and on my cards. And boom, within a month, I paid it all off. And I changed my bank accounts. Now I can't go into minus at all. So if you're indebted, if you keep on paying off and then again, some big ticket item and again and again and again, think about it. Maybe you want to write, I'm always in positive on my bank account and on my cards. You can also put, I have paid off all the money I owe. And I only spend as much as I can afford. So some of you with karma abuse to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to only spend as much as you can afford, to live within your means. And some of you with karma abuse to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to neutralize all decisions and choices you've ever made, to be someone else's cash cow. And some of you with karma abuse to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to neutralize all decisions and choices you've ever made, to believe that your money is not your own and you must give it away to someone else. That you always must give the money because it's not yours to keep. Well, that's a big one. Some of you with karma abuse, you put a detach, resolve, dissolve, cancel, complete program for the next 24 hours or as long as it's needed to neutralize all decisions and choices you've ever made. To believe that you must give away your money because it's not yours to keep. So some of you with karma abuse to keep on neutralizing all the decisions and choices. And some of you with karma abuse to scan the entire universe for all the beings that told you you can't keep money because it's not yours to keep. So some of you with karma abuse to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to fire anybody and everybody from telling you what to do with your money. And some of you with karma abuse to put a detached result, dissolve, cancel, complete program for the next 24 hours, or as long as it's needed, and keep on neutralizing all the decisions and choices you've ever made. To allow anybody to tell you what to do with your money. Some of you have karma abuse to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to learn truly in your very being, to understand truly in your very being that your money is yours and it's yours to keep. That you're allowed to keep your money as much as you want, you can keep. And some of you with karma abuse to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to keep your money, to hold on to your money, to store your money, save your money. And some of you with karma abuse to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to neutralize all decisions and choices you've ever made, to believe all the religious programmings, that it makes you greedy to keep money, that it's bad to hold on money, it will corrupt you. With some of you with karma abuse to put a detached, resolve, dissolve, cancel, complete program for the next 24 hours or as long as it's needed to keep on neutralizing all these beliefs, all the religious programming around money. That you're not allowed to keep money, keeping money is bad for you, money is evil, you better give it away. Every way you're throwing away money like it's a hot potato. So some of you with karma abuse to put a detached, resolve, dissolve, cancel, complete program for the next 24 hours as long as it's needed to keep on neutralizing all the decisions and choices you've ever made, to treat your money like a hot potato that needs to be thrown away. Some of you with karma abuse to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to be comfortable with keeping money, holding on to your money, being around money, having money, being someone with money. Be wise when it comes to your money. And some of you with karma abuse to scan the entire universe for all the money that's rightfully yours, and some of you with karma abuse to command that it all be returned to you. And some of you with karma abuse to communicate to the universe that your final decision is, that our final decision is to claim back all the money that's rightfully ours and allow it to come to us easily. Allow money to flow to us easily. And some of you with karma abuse to neutralize all the decisions and choices you've ever made, to put limits on your money. Allow money only to trickle in small doses to you. Some of you with karma abuse to neutralize all the decisions and choices you've ever made, to receive only a trickle of money. May some of you with karma abuse to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to neutralize all decisions and choices you've ever made, to believe that money is harmful to you. May some of you with karma abuse to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to be taught what it feels like to feel safe around money, to feel safe having money, to feel safe be with money. Some of you with karma abuse to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to allow money to come to you in abundance, safely, easily. Some of you with karma abuse to scan the entire universe for all the money gatekeepers. May some of you with karma abuse to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to fire anybody and everybody from being a gatekeeper to your money. Some of you with karma abuse to communicate to the universe that your final decision is to detach, resolve, dissolve, cancel, complete all the decisions and choices you've ever made, to allow anybody to be a gatekeeper of your money. Disconnect anybody and everybody. Put your awareness at the center of Mother Earth. Ground yourself 5 feet down, 5 feet out. Allow yourself to be fully present in the here and the now. And whenever you're ready, you may open your eyes. So just a little announcement. So our next session is going to be on Tuesday, not Thursday, not Wednesday, Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern. I know there'll be some time changes, and so that's why we are just announcing 10 a.m. Eastern. And stay tuned for the emails, they're going to come out soon. And I'm going to have Roxanne in this session. So Roxanne is one of my coaches, and a lot of the stuff that I learned about money, I learned from her. I've done her money program, I think 3 or 4 times now. And I asked her if she wanted to come and do a session for you guys. So it's going to be a super powerful clearing session. She's very clairvoyant, she's very intuitive, and she agreed to do a free session for you guys. So it's going to be in 2-3 weeks when I'm back. So I hope you're excited. I'm very excited to have her with us because I know she's awesome. And yeah, and having a free clearing by her, it's going to be really powerful. And the topic is money worth it? So put it into your agendas and double check the time in case you know time zones are shifting for you guys. And our usual Tuesday session is going to happen on Monday, still same time, and it's going to be on weight loss and weight gain. So everywhere we have this yo-yo effect around our body weight, what are the choices? So we're going to clear all of that. Okay. Hope all of you can join. And thank you so much to everyone for being here. And I look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks.